doing a very spontaneous recommendations video because you guys have been asking me to do this for such a long time and I just have not done it. So I'm sorry it's taking me this long. Shut up, birds! I hate my parents. Hello everybody, today I'm going to be doing a very spontaneous book recommendations video because you guys have been asking me to do another video like this for such a long time and I just haven't done it until right now. I apologize guys for that. It just, life was getting really hectic. It's still kind of hectic, but it's slowing down because I'm graduating in 2 weeks from high school and I'm so excited. But today I have 3 books that you guys need to read right now. These books I am obsessed with, I love so much, and I know it's just 3 books, it's not like a whole entire batch of recommendations, but I'll be doing a bigger recommendation video very soon, I promise you. I'll do it after I graduate. Right now, to hold you guys over, are 3 books that I absolutely adore and that have come out recently. Number 1 is my favorite book I've read this year so far, and that is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This book is so good. If you guys have not read Sarah's previous series that is called Throne of Glass, you don't know what you're missing out on, read it now. So A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas is about Feyre. She is a huntress and one day she kills this monstrous creature that ends up being a fairy from the fairylands, which is technically divided from the human lands. And so in order to seek retribution for the death of this fairy, Tamlin is sent to collect Feyre, because usually they would kill somebody for killing a fairy, but Tamlin actually just sends her to his house to live with him for the rest of her days. Casual! But everything that Feyre has learned about the fairies and has been taught as a little girl is technically all wrong, and their world is actually in very much trouble because shit is going down in the fairylands. And I'm not gonna say much other than that, but it's an amazing book of very steamy romance, very epic action, and amazing captivating storyline. I highly recommend you go and read this. Like now, please, just go read it so we can chat about it. It's just so good. And Tamlin, guys, Tamlin, a baby, I love him so much. The next book you need to read, well, you don't need to read it, but I highly suggest you do read it since it's so good, is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. This book is fantastic. It is a high fantasy novel that takes place in a world kind of like ancient Rome, mixed with the desert, yeah. And it takes place in dual point of views between Leia and Elias. And so Elias, he is the father of the leader who controls the school where the masks, aka the soldiers that patrol the empire and are kind of really bad guys, where they get trained. And Elias is a very good soldier, the best one at the school thus far. And there's a lot of pressure on him to live up to the expectations that are set for him since his mother runs the academy. But he hates this pressure and he plans to escape. And then there's Leia, or Laia, I'm sorry, I don't know which one it is. Do you guys know what it is? Leia? Laia? It can go either way, but she is such an amazing character because her character growth throughout this novel is spectacular. She lives with her grandparents until they are sadly killed by the Empire, by the masks. And her brother is taken, and it's up to her to get her brother back, her last family member back. And she goes and joins up with the rebellion, and the rebellion sends her into servitude at the Empire as a step to get her brother back. And it is so fantastic, and that's where she meets up with Elias. And it's not all about the romance in this book, it's about the struggle that they both have trying to separate themselves from this empire, but then again, better this world, because it really sucks. So it's such an amazing book. I highly suggest you guys go read it. It is just out of this world and so just cool. You know those books that you're just like, yes. And it was currently greenlit that there will be a sequel to the first book, so I'm so excited for that one. And last but not least is kind of 2 books, but there's one book that I'm focusing on, and that is, of course, The Return by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This book, so freaking good. I just finished it. Loved it. But this book is actually the sequel series to the Covenant series, which starts off with Half-Blood by Jennifer L. Armentrout. It's kind of like a school for mythological people. Like, there's gods and goddesses in this book, and then there's halves and pures. It's a lot of stuff, but it's epically awesome if you like mythology. It's just so fantastic. It's kind of like a Vampire Academy mixed with Percy Jackson, mixed with like Jennifer L. Armentrout's own creativeness. So freaking good. And this book takes place after the events that occurred in this series, and it takes place with one of the main characters from the previous books named Seth. And I don't want to talk about it too much, but read it. Read it if you read the Covenant series, because you will not be disappointed. It is so good. But if you have not read the Covenant series, I highly suggest you read it. It's about this girl who's named Alex, and she is a half-blood. Half-blood is kind of like a half of a pure. Pures have these like powers, but they don't have as many powers as like the gods or the demigods. Anyways, it's an amazing series about Alex and her just like her adventures at Deity Island where her school is, and then out in the world and fighting demons, and it's just really awesome. So I recommend this one. But the actual book that I highly recommend you read is definitely The Return. So fantastic. It does have some sexual content, it has some very steaminess, has some epic romance that doesn't evolve that quickly because it's a series, and I love that about this book, that you actually could see the characters growing together, and it's just so amazing. I loved it so much. So these are the books I recommend that you read like right this instant. They're so amazing and so perfect, and I just love them so much. If you've read any of these books, tell me what your guys' thoughts are on them down below. I would love to know. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!